I used to spend ages like looking for boxes and packaging to make these things look beautiful and pretty. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I should be able to find a website. I can just buy all this stuff and it just order it, just comes to my desk. I don't have to spend my whole Thursday night or weekend running around the shops and finding what I need. And then you buy it one time and then you go back to Lincraft or Spotlight or whatever the store, crafty store you went to. Then they don't have that ribbon anymore, or they don't have that box. You can't get 12 or you can't get 20 the same, or you know what I mean? Like, and I just thought at that time, and it was just before I left that position, I'm like, I should be able to do this. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to. So I'm like, I'm just going to start this little packaging business and I'm just going to supply these things, you know. And I told my partner at the time, who's now my husband, that, you know, he said, oh, you can just be my PA for a little while and, you know, till you start this thing and whatever. I never did a day of work for him ever. Because once I actually launched it, there was such a need for what we were doing and to help, you know, photographers with this sort of niche area of presentation, and it just went nuts. It was great.
Hi everyone, welcome to the third episode of Yarning with Yana, where we like to spin a yarn and tell a story and we spread it around the world. Today I've got the beautiful Michelle from Bespoke Packaging popping in from Brisbane, and we're going to chat all things packaging. So hang in there, chat to you soon.
It's always a yarn when we chat. It's always a yarn. And it's such an Aussie thing.
It is. So for those who are watching around the world, yarn means is a story. We just tell stories. Catch up for a yarn.
Yep. Yeah. Bit of a chat, bit of a story. Sometimes a drink.
Yeah, plenty of those. So for those who don't know you, so you're Michelle from Bespoke Packaging. Tell me some more. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, so yes, I'm Michelle from Bespoke Packaging, and we run a packaging business to basically supply whatever, mainly photographers, but we're also working with a lot of small businesses to deliver their products to their clients. So not just about, you know, a box, but it's about the whole experience that you give your client at the end, the last thing they receive from you. So we kind of try and work with all of our customers to make sure they're giving the best experience. Obviously, once we've helped them get that sorted, we're just an online store that they can jump online and order what they need. But we're also there to help as well. So I run the show here in Brisbane. And we sort of travel around, do a few trade shows, show everyone our products in person. We also have a US website aimed at the USA market, so we run them separately. So same products, but one is, you know, based for the USA market, one here for the Aussie people and other internationals. So yeah, doesn't sound like I do much, does it?
I find it interesting to understand why people eventually get into something that they're passionate about and they love. So what got you into packaging?
Well, I guess I've always loved, you know, sort of the crafty type, tactile, creative thing. A creative industry has always been my thing. So I was a national manager for a scrapbooking paper craft wholesaler in Australia for like nearly 10 years. So the background in that creative industry and all the contacts that I made there. Then I was working in the photography industry for a couple of years as a BDM for an album company. And I just saw this gap in the market and I thought, everyone's making these gorgeous products. There's heaps of suppliers making beautiful albums, making canvases, you know, all of these different products for photographers, but no one was really helping them pull it all together and make the experience for their clients amazing. And there was just, you know, it was the little bits and pieces, and we often say the little details are the most important because they really are. And there was just this gap and there was nowhere to get what you needed.
So as a photographer, some of them wouldn't know that this would be a good thing. I'm assuming there'd be some photographers out there like, it's perfectly fine just to deliver something like a canvas in bubble wrap, for example. Yeah. Some people would think, but do you notice that some of your clients, have they told you the difference that it's made?
Yes, Definitely. Like, especially, I think, not that I want to pick on the guys, but especially the guys are probably, it's fine like that. Just hand over like that. It's not, I don't know what the problem is, And so I've had discussions, and there was one photographer, and he's like, well, I just, put it on a easel, and when they come into my studio, it's there. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not actually creating that experience for the client. And he's like, well, I want to see their face when it happens. And I'm like, but is the experience you're giving for your client, or is it for you?
Ooh,
so anyway, we had this banter backwards and forwards about
question.
it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, to me, your client's the one coming to you. They're the one paying you the money. It's all about the experience you give to your client.
Yeah.
It's not really you. To me, you need to give them the best experience you can, and you want the unveiling or the unwrapping or the whatever to be the best experience for them. So then you say, okay, cool. He goes, so he took my advice. He said, I'll give it a go. I said, look, give it a go. If it doesn't work, I apologize, and I'll stand back. But if it works, I really want to know. So he wrapped up this canvas, put some beautiful branded ribbon around it, and then he presented it to the client. And they were over the moon excited, and they hadn't even unwrapped it yet. So a little thing in your client's brain, see? So when they see it wrapped like that, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. How exciting. And while they're unwrapping it, their excitement levels are rising and rising. So then when they do unwrap it, they're even more excited, rather than just walking in and going, oh, that's it. You know what I mean? So we do like to help our customers, they give us the opportunity, help them work out what the best way and what they can do, because everyone gives different products. So, even if you're handing over a USB drive with digital images and some prints or an album, how you hand that drive over and how you hand that album over is also, important to your client. It mightn't be important to you, but you have to think from your client's point of view. Yeah. And it doesn't have to cost a lot either. But it can also make the difference between your client going, oh my God, you're amazing, and I'm going to Instagram the hell out of this and tell all my friends, and how good is that for your business, compared to them going, oh, cool, thanks, awesome, see ya.
I wonder about, because we look at how data is stored and delivered to people has changed so much in the last 10 years. I remember I used to make DVDs for people. Now computers don't even have DVD drives, and we're actually seeing move away from USB as well. So it'll probably get to the point where perhaps if you are only delivering digital files, that a customer will just be able to download something from a link, which is really impersonal, isn't it?
I think, Phil, I think we're still probably a couple of years away yet from the USB changing as we see it today.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the Mac computers and things have now got that universal thing. So we're actually starting to introduce the little adapter things that you can put your USB into, so you can put it into those computers. So that'll be available from us soon. But I think what will happen is when all of the computers change over, because it's going to be a universal thing with PCs and Macs, once they change over and everyone has that universal thing, that USBs will change to adapt that.
Yeah.
I don't think that it will go totally cloud-based for a long time yet, that we can see. We've discussed it with our manufacturers and that, and there are USBs now that have dual ends. They don't look very pretty though. It hasn't really gotten that far yet, and it's not really at that point yet, but it will happen. Like we changed from floppy disks to DVDs or CDs to DVDs, and then now USBs. It will change, but I think it'll take a little while.
Yeah. So I think it's good.
Yeah.
You want to use something physical for a wedding. It just...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, don't just hand, I mean, I'm sort of a fan of don't just hand over that USB. Okay, make that look pretty, make that look, we put it in a beautiful box. We tell them to, you know, give it to them, you know, in something so they feel like they're getting something for their couple of $1,000s or whatever. But print some photos as well and put it with it. You know, there's plenty of products where you can do a mix of both or an album, or, you know, I think you have to have something when you walk away. To walk away with one little flash drive in your hand after you've paid, you know, for a wedding, what, $4,000, $5,000, and you're like, oh, great. This is what I got.
Yeah. And just the idea of it being a link one day as well, like it blows my mind. It's just so important to give something physical.
Well, a link can be so much. It's so easily lost.
It's so impersonal.
Like, yeah, definitely.
So do you do, say, custom packaging for a particular event, or is it something that you just do mass quantities of something for a photographer? Or do you do a custom, like say if I had a wedding for, you know, James and Stephen or something this year, would you do the packaging particularly for that, or?
You can do it either way. So some photographers do personalised, so they would have a drive and a box and they would put the client's name on it and whatnot. Some, actually, I've got something here I'll show you. I don't know who this couple is that's on the picture, but they got married about a year ago. So this is like a box where it's personalised. So photo on the front, I don't know, can you see that?
Yeah, awesome.
Now I'm dropping things out. And then photo on the USB as well.
Oh, lovely.
And then we've got some timber prints in here. So I just dropped one on the ground. Hang on. So timber prints. So that's full colour, or it can be black and white. And then there's a little stand that comes in the box. So you can put it on an easel, but there's a little stand that you can sit it up on. So some photographers will actually do that, a personalised product. Some will have a standard product where it's just then the photography name on the USB and a box with their logo on it, which is still great because, you know, at least it's something of substance. And it just depends what way you want to go with doing it. You can also get a smaller box and print, you know, the photo of the client or just their names on it. So there's all kinds of ways to do it. And it's a photographer's choice as to what they want to go. Some have a standard package, and it might depend on what level of package they've booked as to what level of product they get too.
Correct. Excellent. So, and what's your turnaround on something like that that's custom?
That's 5 to 7 business days.
What?
So, yeah, so it's all online. You just log in online. That's called, that's one of our timber box sets. Log in online, upload your cover photo, upload your photos for your prints, upload the photo that you want on the USB or whatever you want on there. Order it online, send it in. We printed it. It's all printed here in Brisbane. So it's all printed here locally. Print it all up for you and off it goes. So, yeah, it's pretty quick. So if you've just done the wedding and you work a couple of photos for that, we can have it all printed into you. Yeah.
In that time. And tell me the finish on it. Can you just show me again? Is there like a lacquer over the top? Like how is it?
No, that's a raw timber.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah.
So that's a raw timber box. And that's a UV colour print on the top.
Oh, beautiful.
So there's no lacquer or anything over it. We've done lots of testing on the prints as well. I'll show you that one because that's easy to see as well. We've done lots of testing on the prints. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's really, I can see the texture in it. It's lovely.
Yeah, so you can actually see the texture of the timber. It's a fairly light timber and it's fairly, you know, thin.
Yeah.
We've done lots of testing. We've put it, you know, in the sun and whatever. The good thing about this is it doesn't fade because it's a UV print. It won't fade if you've got them out sitting out around the house.
I was going to ask you whether it was better to have them in black and white or colour, or it's fine.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, either one. Doesn't matter. And the thing is, you know, you can handle them and touch them and whatever, and that there's no effect on the print. Like it doesn't change it or anything, which is good if you've got it sitting out in your house.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, you know, if kids are touching it, you can use that product for family portraits as well. And it's great for the kids can touch the photos and play with them and feel like it is actually a, you know, nice little memento.
Yeah, lovely. And is that are they available for your overseas customers as well as your domestic?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. They're on the website there. I won't quote prices because they're slightly, one's in US dollars and one's Australian dollars, but it's very affordable. So it's around the $100 mark for the whole set. So it's actually very affordable. And so therefore allowing the photographer to put their markup on their package or whatever. So
yeah, excellent. And if I was to get, say, some studio ones that were branded to me and I got like a bulk order, would that bring the price per unit down?
They're printed per box at the moment. We are about to, you actually caught me there, because we are about to offer a studio sample discount on one of those box sets. So we're going to send out in the next few weeks a sample offer so that people actually order one and have a sample in their studio to show their clients. Yeah. So we're going to do a discount off the price so that it is a good, you know, incentive to order that.
Excellent. And so we can also get the boxes, say, with our logo on top as well and just have an empty box and then get our own prints. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. So you can order the boxes separately. There's 2 different sizes as well. That one I showed you is a smaller one. There is a larger box and you can, you know, order just the box on its own and you can put your own prints or album or whatever you want in there. You can make up your own little package. So you can put a logo on it or just put a photo on it and that's all, and you've got all your other bits and pieces that you do yourself. We try to be pretty flexible.
Yeah, very flexible. What about the depth? Does the depth change with the bigger one as opposed to the small one, or is the depth of the box?
Yeah, the bigger one's 10 by 10. That's the bigger one there.
Yeah.
So, and that's quite a bit deeper, as you can see. So that's a 10 by 10. So sort of the difference in depth is quite a bit there.
You can get the printed one as well, so the custom one with the print on top and the prints inside on the 10 by 10 as well.
We only do the one size of prints. So with the 10 by 10 one, what we recommend is do, you know, 5 by 7 matted prints and put some matted prints inside.
Lovely.
There's enough room for that, or it could be a small album inside there. So, yeah.
And so you're getting ready to go over to Vegas, WPPI again this year?
We are, yes. We just came back from PPA in Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
Only 2 weeks ago, and that was great. And we're looking forward to going to WPPI again and doing the trade show there. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. It should be good.
Yeah. And where can we see you around Australia?
So at the moment, there hasn't been a lot happening. So we are going to try and attend some of the prop fairs, which there's one coming up in Sydney. We can't make that because it clashes with WPPI. Yeah. There's one going to be in Melbourne, I think, later. So we'll try and make the Melbourne one and definitely the Gold Coast one. But yes, there's not a lot happening yet around the country as far as that goes. So I might have to look at doing some kind of road show or something where we just travel around, I think.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea. I'd be up for that. We could go on a road show.
Okay. Yep, I think so. I think when we mentioned that a while back, I think we need to actually pull that one out and out of the closet, get that happening.
It's so true. I think it's so important for, I know for myself anyway, as a photographer, to be able to touch and feel something, to be able to, you need to be able to touch it, to understand it, to know whether or not that's something that you want to have. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And there's so many options now that, actually being able to see it is a great help. Although with a lot of our products, it's not like an album where it's a major expense. You know, with some of our packaging items, they're fairly inexpensive. So you can actually just sort of order one on the website to have a look at this box or this folder or or what have you, or with, you know, ribbons and things like that. We send you a proof so you can see what your name looks like on that colour before we print a roll and things like that. So with a lot of our stuff, it's not too bad, but with some of those products, yeah, it's definitely worthwhile to have a look at them.
Touch and feel, excellent. All right, so thank you very much for popping by on the show.
Thanks for having me. I hope that was useful, and that there's some things that people picked up out of that, you know, maybe can just increase their customer experience a little bit. You know, it can help increase their business a lot. So
yeah, I have absolutely no doubt about that. I will admit that I'm not great at this. I need to make an effort. Again, I just didn't really think about it, but with canvases especially, I've just always thought bubble wrap. I mean, bubble wrap. Like, what's wrong with that? But when I think about it, you just explained it. It's like, you know, $1,200 for a canvas. Here it is in bubble wrap. Just doesn't make sense, really, does it?
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that we're thinking about it from a business point of view, or here you go, I'm delivering the product, whereas the customer thinks of it slightly differently, and you want them to have that wow factor at the end. That's the last, you know, big shebang before they walk away, and you mightn't see them until, you know, they come back to you if they're happy and if they're, you know, amazed, or they refer a friend because you were so awesome. So I guess that's the difference that you want to make sure keeps happening. Or they give you a glowing review on Facebook or whatever, you know, you want that.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you very much. Have a safe trip over to the States, and we'll catch up again soon.
Yes. Thanks, Yana.
See ya. Bye.